Hey, all you wonderful people. I'm Lisa Ely, and I'm known as a six-figure success mentor and also your HR profit strategist. Hey, I wanted to come in with the third part of this series this month, talking about mid-year. And it is the mid-year. In fact, we're a little bit past the mid-year. And so this third part of the series is mid-year setting and achieving SMART goals. So we're halfway through. That's right, halfway through. The second half starts on Monday, and I've got a special series for you to do a fast start for those of you small business owners, people who have small teams, government contracting agencies, and those who have 15 to about 50 employees, earning 500K up to 10 million. I'm here for you. And so I wanted to, come in and wrap this session up, literally. And so we're going to talk about four things. No, actually, we're going to talk about five things. And so I really want you to understand the importance of goals, but not just like setting a goal and forgetting it like it's just going to happen mystically or magically, because that does not necessarily work. So I want you to know, you as the leader of the organization, as the driver on your team, and the person primarily responsible for the results, need to make sure that you are inspecting what you expect and that you are holding people accountable to reach the goals and pull the levers so that you can grow your business. It's something that Sweetie Pie used to say. She used to say all the time on her show, if you're not making money, you're not in business. So if you ain't making money, you're not in business. If you're not reaching those goals, then you really are falling short. But this is all about the people. In fact, I'll tell you this. I was listening to um, a, a Capitol Hill interview. It was an inquiry, actually, about labor and people and all of that. And I remember when I worked in corporate before I started my own business, I was the HR representative internal, supporting and interfacing as a liaison to the external labor organization. And no one really wanted to meet with this labor organization. They were in New Jersey. And no smack, no smoke on New Jersey. It is blue collar. I'm from Ohio, from Cleveland, Ohio, which is also blue collar. Grew up in a blue collar family, and so I can relate. And so I simply just said to make and ensure that we were on the same ground. What I said was, without our employees, you don't have members. And so keep that in mind. Without your team, you cannot achieve these goals. So you've got to be conscientious of your team and what they need to be successful. So when I say inspect what you expect, that doesn't mean you're going to be a micromanager of those individuals. It literally simply means that you're going to provide the resources, the tools, the support, the engagement, opening up and making yourself available, so that your team can achieve the goals that is going to ring the bell that you're looking to ring on a weekly, a monthly, a quarterly, a yearly basis. But if you have not inspected where you are and what you need to do to achieve those goals, and you haven't set your team up for success, then you're falling short of what's possible. But more so for that, for those of you who are also believers out there, I want to throw this extra part in there. The extra part and responsibility for you is that the business service, the expertise that you deliver, the products that you offer in the marketplace is literally an answered prayer to someone, some part of an answered prayer. So you not delivering or doing the thing is literally preventing them from getting their answered prayer. So you got to do what you need to do to make the wheels turn, to make your business work, to make the best decisions, and to ensure that your people are supported. So today, I want to help you discover the power of SMART goals. And we know what that means: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, right? And then we want to talk about the vision and the actionable steps to take. So today, these 5 things we're going to cover, but the fifth thing is like really, really important. So I want you to stay. Not going to be with you long, but I want you to stay to hear number 5 and for me to break it down. So number 1 is, what is SMART goals and understanding that. You know, um, we're all fabulous in what we do. And I want to welcome you, if you're just now joining at this point, is this is a masterclass on mid-year SMART goals for success and turning your vision into reality. But we get to do something amazing because the year isn't over yet. In fact, this quarter isn't even over yet. We've got a few more days in this quarter. And so I'm Lisa Ely. I am your HR profit strategist, and I'm your guide on this journey to mastering the art of goal setting in your business using HR tactics. So let's dive in into what those actionable steps are. So, one, let's talk a little bit more about really what is SMART. And we know the acronym specific. That means you got to be specific about what good looks like, the result, so that anyone that's reading or looking at the goal specifically understands what you're trying to achieve. It cannot be vague. I say this to the businesses that I support, is that if it's vague and you share it with someone internal to your team, or you share it with someone who is supporting your business, like I do for the businesses that I support, and they don't get exactly what it is. I was reviewing something with a client the other day, and I just was not clear what it was that they were trying to say. So the first thing, it must be specific. But if it's in your head specific and not on paper specific, then it's not going to make sense for those individuals who are supporting you in reaching those goals. It must be measurable. Like, how will you measure success, right? It's very hard to have a goal that's not measurable at all. You don't have to necessarily measure the total outcome, but you can measure the milestones and the triggers and the levers that need to be pulled in order to achieve it. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're tracking what you're eating, maybe you're tracking your macros and your calories and how much water you're drinking and how many minutes you're spending doing different types of exercises, whether it is strength training, or just walking or something else, right? The third one is achievable. It's got to be something that's achievable, that like you really can do. So I'm not going to graduate if I want, if one of my goals was to get a certification, and I've got to take a class and a certification and study and all that in a week. That's not even achievable. It's not realistic. It can't happen. And the other thing is, you've got to be realistic with this as well, because some things, it's just too much. So sometimes less is more. So you may not really need 10 goals. Maybe you just need 5, or maybe you just need 3 or 2, right? Make it something that is achievable, that you can achieve. It's okay to stretch, but too much of a stretch also gives us fatigue with achieving our goals, and we give up too soon. So it needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant. And so relevant to what you're ultimately trying to do. So when I work with businesses, I want to make sure that what we're doing on a weekly, a daily, a monthly, a quarterly, a yearly, a short term 1 to 3, a longer term 3 to 5, or even longer 5 to 10 years is relevant. It doesn't mean it can't change along the way, but you've got to make sure that this is relevant to where you're going and growing in your business, and where you want to and need to grow, and make an impact, right? And then the final one is, it must be time bound. because without it, you can't say, right, that it's smart, because when should it be done? So, for example, I will tell you, working with a client recently who has really gotten some success, one of the things is they've begun to network with individuals that they could potentially hire in the future, right? Because they know that their business is growing. They've applied for some contracts and they're expecting some things to land in the fall. So you may have an ongoing position that is posted, for example, for future talent that gives individuals an opportunity to join a talent pool for your organization. On your website, you can talk about what are the types of positions that you currently hire for and the ones that you're expecting to hire for in the future. And what you're doing is you're building your talent pool through your ongoing and active networking that you're doing. And in one case last year, an individual did actually decide that they were going to retire early, and they already had a built-in talent pool that they could tap into, that they were nurturing over a period of time. And so it needs to be time bound, which means the deadline for this is June 30th. The deadline for this is September 25th. The deadline for this is December 15th, right? So that means that you are working towards it. And because it makes it crystal clear, it gives you a roadmap to success, and it makes it easier to track your progress and stay on course. Wow, right? So let me talk about number two. So, number two is setting smart goals. And I'm going to give you some practical tips to do this. So, one of the things that's important is setting smart goals is here's the step-by-step approach. We already have the outline, right? But the step-by-step approach is one, identifying the specific goal. So you want to define your goal with precision. You want um, to know exactly what you'll be achieving, right? What is the desired outcome that you're looking for? Number two, you want to make sure that it's measurable, that you can actually measure if you've reached it. So, for someone who might be wanting to lose weight or wanting to grow their network, say here on this platform on LinkedIn, in the first case, if you're wanting to gain weight, because we know that health is wealth, is that you've got to set a goal. What is your end goal? And then, for example, break it down. So, if you want to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, and you want to lose between 1.5 pounds and 2 pounds every week, that means you're going to have to track your weight, the beginning weight, and you're going to have to at least track your weight on a weekly basis to see where you're headed. I will tell you that is a great measure. The second thing is if you're looking to grow your network here, for example, on LinkedIn, or you're looking to build a talent pool, you might be starting with zero, right? And then you create milestones. The first really big milestone on LinkedIn is 500 connections. That's right. And so that's the first milestone. Then after that, you can say realistically, LinkedIn has some limitations to how you can grow. And maybe you can only connect with a maximum of 25 people a week or 100 people a month. That's given you're connecting for the full 4 weeks. That's another 100 people. So if you want to move from 500 to 1,000, it's going to take you at least 5 months, because the maximum you can connect to is 100 a month. And then that gives you something that is measurable and the metrics to see if you're tracking appropriately. Number three, you want to make sure it's achievable. Ensure that your goals are actually realistic, right? So, in order to grow your network or grow your talent pool, you've got to be actively engaged in activities that lead toward that goal. And ask yourself, can you accomplish this with your resources, or are there things that you need? Do you need a class? Do you need an HR consultant to help you to figure out how to create a talent pool? How do you attract them? Where is your talent pool located? How will you connect with them? What will they do? How will you follow up? How will you keep them engaged, right? Then number 4, relevant. Align the goal with your overall mission and vision for your organization. And ask yourself this question: does it make sense for our organization now? Is this something that we need to put a pin in, right? So, for example, maybe you're not going to plan a completely virtual 3-day event because people have fatigue from that. Maybe you're going to make it hybrid, or maybe in the middle of the pandemic, we shifted and pivoted and everything was online, right? And so, is it relevant to the time and to what people want? And then finally, time bound. You want to set a specific deadline, a date, right? By when do you want to achieve this goal? Remember, the most specific and detailed your goal, the easier, I mean, easier. I'm not saying like it's a walk in the park, but it'll be easier to stay focused and motivated. And these are the same tactics that you're going to use when you do a goal rollout. And then each of your associates, team members, employees have a piece of the pie, that they're making sure that ultimately, when you do this correctly, that means they can use your goal tree to determine their priorities and what they need to focus on. And again, I say this, sometimes less is more. Okay, let's move. We're moving right along. And don't forget, number 5 is really, really special. So you want to make sure that you're paying close attention to this and listening in. So, number 3, the thing here that you really, really want to think about is implementing the goals, right? Because you can have beautiful goals and they're on a laminated sheet and hung up in your office or on your website or on business cards or wherever it might be prominently. If you're not implementing them, then they really mean nothing. So once you've set your SMART goals, it's time to put them to action. So here's some things to consider. You want to integrate your goals into your business initiatives. For example, if you're aiming to improve employee engagement, break it down into specific actions like conducting a survey, organizing team building activities, and providing regular feedback, maybe one-on-one meetings, maybe skip levels or other things. Maybe you're going to do some fun things like host a picnic, maybe a giveaway or a contest. You want to communicate your goals clearly to your team and also have a regular process to review statuses. And when you see yellow or red or things that aren't moving, let's all dig in and do lessons learned and figure out how we can get it moving. Or decide it's no longer relevant and we're going to put a pin in it. And so you want to make sure everyone understands their role in achieving these objectives. And then you want to assign responsibility to set milestones to keep everyone accountable. This is the goal rollout that you need to make sure is tight. Wow, we're really making progress. Number 4, that's right, number 4, you want to track progress. And so maybe you have a system or tool already in place, or maybe you want to use something like an Asana or a Monday or a ClickUp or a Trello, or even just use something as simple as a Google Doc or a spreadsheet to track it, right? But you want to make sure there is some means to track it and that you set up regular interviews to do the same. So these 3 things: use project management software that I mentioned, and then keep track of the tasks and the deadlines. But you've also got to inspect what you expect. And that means you've got to initiate that. You want to regularly review your progress with the team, hold weekly or bi-weekly check-ins. That means once a week, twice a month, but at the minimum, at least once a month, right? And they're not punitive. They're just making sure that you're on track. And then finally, you want to use data and analytics to measure the success. Look at key metrics and compare them against your targets. Make sure you have your milestones intact. And then finally, I got to say this, finally, number five, you want to adjust and improve. So toss out what if Asana isn't working, if Monday isn't working, if Trello isn't working, ClickUp isn't working, Google Docs isn't working. Try and be willing to try something different, right? It's okay. And so talk about adjusting and refining your goals. It's important to stay flexible and open to change and listen to your team. So, one, analyze your performance regularly and be ready to make adjustments if something isn't working. This is so critical, right? You want to seek feedback from your team and stakeholders. Their insights can be valuable where you need improvement in the goals, and be open to the feedback that your team provides. And continuously, this is the most important thing, continuously refine your goals to ensure they remain relevant and achievable. This iteration and this process will help you stay on track and achieve greater success. So you got to write the vision and make it plain. So to wrap up, remember these key takeaways. Set clear and actionable SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant in time. Use tools to track and evaluate your progress, and always be open to adjusting. Don't make this punitive. Set up known regular intervals to review this. You got the power as the CEO, as the lead of the team, to turn your vision into a reality. And the mid-year is the time to do it. One SMART goal at one time. I want to thank you for your time and attention today, but this is some powerful resources I provided. And I have a whole sheet of what I just reviewed. If you want that, just drop SMART below, but also visit us at hrforprofit.com and download other free resources. And if you want to meet so that you can do your own mid-year, you can do your own vision, you can do your own SMART goals and get your team set up for success this year, like not next year, not next quarter, but now, drop a me and just tag me in the chat below, and I'll reach out and my team will get you and I on a call where we do a free demo of how we can help you increase your profits in your business. I'm Lisa Ely. I'm your HR Profit Success Strategist, and I'm here to help you as an AA contractor, as a small business, to reach, grow beyond where you ever thought possible. It's been great catching up, and I'll see you inside our community and on a call soon. Take care.